Well, good morning, my friends. I'm Reverend Catherine Bonin, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to CSL Charlotte this morning. Whether you're with us in person or streaming on Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, or even watching it after this morning's service, you are welcome here. And I want to extend a very special warm welcome to anyone who's visiting us for the first time. We're delighted that you've chosen to join us, and we're grateful for modern technology because that lets us touch so many people across this great country of ours. To find out more about CSL Charlotte and all the things that are happening here, you can visit our website, which is cslcharlotte.org, and be sure to sign up, which means subscribe. And that way, you'll see all of the happenings here. You can also put in a prayer request on the website and let us support you with whatever's happening in your life, whether you're moving through something that's challenging and you're struggling, or you want to celebrate something that's really great in your life right now. We want to help you and support you as you deepen your relationship with Spirit. We'd love to hold you in prayer. So please don't be shy. Put in a prayer request. And a little later, you'll hear more about our prayer requests and how many people we serve in this wonderful way. And then if you hear something that you want to hear again, you can listen on the website. There are these services are posted there. If you happen to miss a Sunday or you just want a shot of inspiration on a Thursday morning, these services are all up on the website, so you can listen to them over and over again if you'd like, or search old services and get that shot of inspiration. So now let me tell you a little bit more about us. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living in ancient wisdom philosophy. It's based on the science of mind. And the science of mind was developed in the early 20th century by writer, lecturer, and philosopher Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied the truths from all of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. We call him the great synthesizer. He developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into the world. And one of the things I love so much about his teaching is he looked at all of the religions, all these philosophies, all these spiritual traditions, and he found those places where truth resides. He found those places where we're all the same, and he emphasized that unity. This philosophy emphasizes unity, not diversity. We are all one, yet we celebrate diversity. We honor every philosophy, every race, every sexual orientation, and every physical distinction. We are a diverse, open, and affirmative community. We know that there are many paths to the divine. We know that we are each on our own journey. We can call the divine God, spirit, peace, love, the universe, infinite mind, nature. You can call it anything you want to call it. What's important is that we're able to go to that place inside where we're all connected, where we're all one. It's important that we can touch that power that resonates within every one of us. I like to think of us like a sunbeam to the sun, each of us individual beings, but connected to that source of good. It's important that we cultivate that relationship. And we believe that you don't have to leave your current philosophy or your current nature of knowledge. Just practice. Join us anytime. See your life changing by practicing the principles that we teach here. We are inclusive. We recognize and honor and refer to the many sacred scriptures, like the Bible, the Torah or the Quran, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, just to name a few. You may hear quotes from some of those scriptures in today's talk. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of leaders who can integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen our mind, our body, and our spirits. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community, everyone who joins us. We teach the tools to do exactly that. So join us here on Sunday mornings or at our consciousness meetings on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can also join one of our ongoing classes, and I think that there are some classes starting up pretty quick here, which you'll also hear more about later. So now, once again, I just invite you to sit back in your chair, relax. I want to welcome you inviting you to join our service this morning as we celebrate that powerful presence that lives within every one of us. And it's my great pleasure now to pass the microphone over to our illustrious leader and my dear friend, Reverend Dr. Rosedale Jones.
And thank you so much, Reverend Catherine. That was beautiful. I love how you just give us this beautiful synopsis and build me up. So that is just so beautiful. Thank you for being here, as always. So with that being said, everybody, all of you, whether you're listening to us on YouTube or any type of virtual way, welcome to CSL Charlotte. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and whatever. So with that being said, we are the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. And today our intention or attention is on moving beyond our limits. So why not get started moving beyond your limits? See, we start our Sunday celebrations with an opening affirmative prayer, and that's how we set the tone. So, leading us in prayer this morning is my right hand man, Alan Lilly, aka the A Team. And he's chomping at the bits, ready to get up here and do this thing. So, he's practicing on a lot of levels to keep himself moving beyond his limits. So, listen to Alan's prayer, and you'll hear if he's moving beyond his limits. And if you want to practice, or if you want to put in a prayer request to figure out how to move beyond your own limits, go to our website right now and request a prayer to get started moving beyond your limits. And with that, you can read it every day. And also, here's the thing, you have to put in that prayer request and you got to make that choice. So, okay, Alan, why don't you let it rip?
All right, everybody, I invite you to close your eyes as we recognize that we are a part of the infinite intelligence. This infinite intelligence is the source of all of creation, source of all of the stars, the galaxies, the planets, and nature. And it flows in and through and as us, like the rays connect to the sun. We are all individualized channels for the light that is within each and every one of us. So I know that we have a wonderful, inspiring message delivered by Reverend Rosedale Jones. She is radiant. We are all radiant, in fact, because we are all expressions of the infinite light. So therefore, we move beyond the outdated, stinking thinking and hiding our talents underneath a blanket. And we express our inner light out into the world. And as we move beyond our limits, push beyond our comfort zone, that the light within us shines brighter and brighter, like a lighthouse shines throughout the night and is a beacon of inspiration and hope out into the world. So I am grateful to be a part of a community like this that believes that teaching everybody how to become our own lighthouses of hope and inspiration, and to move beyond the limitations of the past, to move beyond the critical thinking that's within our heads sometimes, and to inspire us to soar. So I release these intentions out into the creative universe, knowing that everything shines brightly ahead of us, lighting our way with inspiration. And so it is.
Wow. Now that's awesome. I love, he's all about moving beyond that thinking mind. That's the beyond. Okay, guys, he's saying it. He's setting the tone. So next on our platform is our reader, who is Jerry Campbell, aka Groovy G. And see, Groovy has been moving beyond her limits way since day one here at CSL Charlotte. And so weekly, I get to literally watch her as she is constantly moving beyond her limits. Love it, love it, love it. So after Groovy's reading, listen to the song, The Power of Now. Notice that how the power of now is working in your life, and you'll start to be moving beyond your limits. So, Groovy, make it do just what it do.
Thank you so much, Reverend Rosedale. I had the honor of reading an item that was written by our very own Reverend Rosedale Jones. It's called Releasing the Past and Embracing Limitless Possibilities. Starting right now, we can honor and bless our past patterns while gently releasing any attachments or resistance. We can extend forgiveness where it's needed, forgiving the bad for the pain it caused, the good for its shortness, and ourselves for any judgments we've held. Today, with trust in the truth of spirit within us, through us, and as us, we step forward with courage and curiosity into a brand new now. Thus, we can start moving beyond our limits. For some people, it can be tempting to remain in the comfort of their familiar discomfort. In fact, it may even seem easier for some to keep reliving the experiences, beliefs, and behaviors of our past because we may want to avoid the work. No matter what you think, it's time to embrace Spirit's invitation to step into the limitless possibilities of the present. Why not set intention to bring the light of consciousness to our old, less than conscious patterns of thinking and acting? Instead of clinging to the story of I've always, we can start with a fresh personal statement of up until now. Here's how to let go of I've always. When we begin our personal statement of up until now, we become more likely to change the ego's old perspective from the fear side. This helps us realize that the ego is not here to stop our progress. However, if we give in to the ego statements that do not serve us, we are the only ones who can stop our growth. When we align with the ego from love side, it serves us very well. Stay curious. Use your curiosity to measure your current state of mind and open up to insights of what will make you move toward happiness. When we reflect on our inner selves with curiosity, we gain answers and insights that definitely impact our lives. The following is a quote from Reverend Rosedale Jones. Start trusting in the truth of spirit within you, through you, and as you, and move forward with audacity and curiosity into a brand new now. And so it is.
The power of now. Let's just take a short centering moment here and relax our minds, eyes, ears, and either take the eyes and look down into your lap or just closing them just briefly, about a minute. And then breathe in really, really deeply. And as you do that, really exhale slow. And as you do, just think about the power of now. See, I love that song because it spells out that we know where we need to be to do what it takes to begin moving beyond our limits. See, we need to spend more time right now in this now. And then the power of now, what she says in the song, is here to create magic on earth. But you know what? All that magic is about spiritual practice, mindfulness, and self-awareness. See, I love the power of now because it's here for you and me to create magic on earth. And that's what it's all about. Now. So the power of now is here now. And so my question probably is, when will you be ready to move beyond your limits? So there is no coincidence about energy whatsoever. It's sheer reality, not coincidence. So right now, I am moving beyond my old limitations. Are you ready to move beyond your old limitations? Good. So you're a choice. Now we could decide to use spiritual practices, mindfulness, or whatever you want, just to incorporate this wonderful mindfulness. So how do we do that? We practice. And if you practice, you can start moving beyond your limits. So wiggle your fingers and your toes. Integrate your mind, body, and spirit. And as you float, your eyes open again. Look around your space and actually allow something there to bring you back to the present moment. While I take a gratitude moment. So thank you, Reverend Catherine. I just love it when you come here from Carlsbad, California, to actually give us that opening, and you just do it with such grace. So thank you also, Alan, for serving us so powerfully in prayer. And thank you, Groovy, for that reading, Releasing the Past and Embracing Limitless Possibilities, because it speaks total, big time volumes to moving beyond our limits this morning. So this is the thing. You see, our ego is constantly sorting out labels and deciding what is right as far as we look at this external world, forming these patterns. We're actually using our thoughts and our behavior to think about this. I got to give you an example. Yesterday, I was driving. My grandson bought himself a Q60, and I had to go up there to take care of some paperwork for him. And as I came down, I said, I could go home, but I decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and get some gas. So I decided, and just off the fluke. So I decided that, wow, something's going on here. Something's going on here. So about 3 gas stations. So then I said, okay, it's time to go up the beaten path, because right now ego is labeling and catching all the places that I was saying to find out what's going on in my mind, what's going on in my world around me. See, this autopilot that goes on, it goes on and on and on for 24/7 until we actually take time to observe something's different today. That's how the ego works 24/7. That's how we are always on autopilot. That's why we have to take that time to begin to tell ourselves, wait a minute, something's not right here, or wait a minute, something's great here. But we have to take time to observe our thoughts and our behavior. Or else we'll be somewhere on the phone talking about, you know why we're having this gas shortage? Because the president or this person. I'm not looking to blame anybody. I'm just looking for solutions at this point. Because why? The power of now is telling me you don't have time to worry about how this happened. All you got to do is figure out how you're going to get out of this situation. Here's the ego running, sorting things 24/7, guys. Based on our current beliefs and our knowledge and our understanding, that's the only way the ego can operate in our lives. If we have ones like Groovy's reading said, if you're on the love side, you're going to have the right ideas, the right thoughts, the right actions to make. You see, here it is. Essentially, the ego works from whatever we believe, whatever we think, and whatever daily hormones. I'm studying something else today, guys. Habits. Whatever daily habits that we're forming, all through that sorting that it does 24/7. See, the term habit is just generally something that we use to predict or explain behavior. Well, actually, that's what scientists use too. So I, am scientifically spiritual, right? So our thoughts and beliefs really actually evolve as we grow and learn how to change our habits. A lot of people don't change their habits because they don't know how. But when you know how, when you know better, you do better. And I love that. When you know better, you do better. So I established a habitual practice to stop and consciously observe my patterns and thoughts and behaviors. Now, I said to myself, yesterday. I'm glad I'm doing this talk because I could have easily said last years ago, where however I used to be, I'm always evolving. Wow, this place is going crazy. This is happening. That's happening. No, 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 no. But that would be because I did not change my habitual statements to blame. See, in my experience, most people, or not many people, I don't know most people because there's a billion and gazillion people in this world, but many people have habitual practices. They don't make them become a habit to start thinking about their thoughts, their behaviors. It's just they go 24/7 out, unconsciously. But it's okay because eventually they say, wait a minute, this is not working for me. And then they begin to understand that I need to take time to consciously examine my patterns and my thoughts. That's how we win. That's how we can move beyond our limits. You see, I trained myself to learn better so I can do better. Now I'm doing better. I should say much better. Count me 15 to 20 years ago, much better. The old habits that did not serve me, they offered me a lot of false feeling of comfort. I thought it was okay, right? Or I had this idea that this false sense of survival that I'm thinking, well, it's okay, everything's fine. No, that was just resisting and growth and change. If you're going to be okay with a salary, a fixed income, if you're going to be okay with, okay, I just get sick every year this time, if you're going to be okay with money runs out and this is what's going on, if you're going to be okay, I just can think about a lot more other things that we can go to feast and famine, then there's a problem with that. For example, we don't have to, if let's say, for example, we're going across the street, we don't have to consider, how do I cross this street when we approach the stoplight? Or we don't even consider, what do I have to do? The thing is, we do it repeatedly, and so it becomes automatic habit. So the same thing, practice mindfulness, practice some type of thing to stop and observe where you are and let it become an automatic habit. And that will lead us to what we don't do. Some people resist change. We don't do that when we start to realize, I know what I'm doing now and I need to stop it. Oh, I need to do better. I need to do more of this. So it's not all bad. Because a lot of people don't do it because they have to relearn things and they're so uncomfortable with learning. Boy, but here's the deal. Habits are known to limit our view. And so by limiting our view, we are confined to this bondage. Oh, we can create our own prison now. We don't need anybody out there to do this for us. There is nobody that can build this prison better than you when it comes to you, okay? Or me. The same thing. Gotta let go of what we think we know and start to understand what is there new for me to know. What is there new for me to know? So here's a way forward. I loved the way Groovy made sure she put all of these things in our reading so you could see where we were going with this. You see, if we want to break ourselves away from this bondage that we create in our view or the way we look at life, then we can start asking questions to ourselves like, what if? Can I imagine? And maybe we can consider some possibilities. Consider the possibility. Well, that makes us curious because we need curiosity to begin moving beyond our limits. The most impactful human discoveries and the human inventions came from people because they were curious. It's all been born out of curiosity. Don't get it twisted. They wondered, what would happen if we made this rubber band and we put it there? What would happen? They wanted to know. Be curious. You heard the reading. Ruby said that also. You see, research has shown, and is still showing, that creative people across all fields, it's not just, oh, I'm a nurse, oh, I'm a doctor, oh, I'm that. They are willing to think outside the box. Those are the people who are creative. But now there's people who are working in these fields that just, okay, they told me to give aspirin, only aspirin, if I'm a doctor. Well, whatever it is, we got to think outside the box. We got to evolve with the people and what's going on. You see, we have to accept every single mistake, our setbacks. And this is what these successful people do. You gotta accept it. Oh, I made that mistake. Okay, good. You gotta check out your setbacks. Wow, that was supposed to be done, but I wanted it now. No, setback, dead ends. Oh my goodness, all of these things do happen. We have to accept it. But the good thing, just celebrate those experiences, because without those experiences, we would not know what is next to do. Then what happens is they make it a point, these successful people, to be grateful for them. One of the things I have to say, that the last couple of years, of all of the things I said, the pain, whatever thing I went through, I say I'm grateful for them, because they gave me a lot of insights. They gave me a lot of knowledge. And then I gained from every single mistake. And then that's when I started to understand the counterpart to good, the counterpart to what we call bad. I call it bad, but I don't feel bad about it. There's a difference. So today, what I did, as I start moving beyond more of my limits, I accept my mistakes and setbacks. And then I end up saying, okay, there's a dead end here. Can't go any further. All right. So now let me revise my journey, or let me just stay here for a minute and just celebrate the moment. Like Mo says every time she gets in here, it's a good day to be alive. Let's go back to that. I'm still alive.
Thank you.
Now, one thing I know that I have to do is I have to evolve my consciousness and adapt to this constant evolving world. I know it, because it's going to keep evolving. Now, if I stay here, let's say, for example, I decided that I'm going to stay with this fixed income if I have that. Or let's say I'm deciding to say that, well, okay, I'm just going to resign to the fact that every single March, the flu season is going to beat it. No. I don't have to resign to that, right? But here's the deal. I have learned to relax in this truth that we are safe in this spirit within us. So when we relax into this truth that we are safe within this spirit of us within us, as we constantly exploring our new territories or territory, we let go of any fear that are making us feel like making a mistake is bad. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's when we learn. People would probably talk about you about that mistake. So what? We can automatically start moving beyond our limits once we realize we made the mistake, because now we get to change. How about that? So I had this peer-reviewed study that I did in the neuro, ego, and habit. And the title of this particular study was Implications of Behavioral Change. And so the study, what it did was it explores the brain's habitual interact with an ego decrease. Let's say we have an ego decrease. Now, I'm not going to explain the ego decrease, but there is something big about that. Listen to me. What it does is it's showing that the ego, which is our protector in many cases, gets tired because we're constantly in our minds going, oh, but I should, no, just do it. See, then you tire out everybody, you and everything within you, And then after that stuff gets tired, the ego gets tired and everything gets tired, we start to rely heavily on those ingrained habits that don't serve us. But you see, the whole problem is this, not the whole, the good solution of it is that this problem can be, of us being reliance, this problem can be changed. All we have to do is put in this specific time with ourselves and spiritual practice. But what this study says is that what they do with it is they do this specific neuroplasticity technique. There's different techniques. It's the same what we would say spiritually, a spiritual practice, mindfulness, but they have neuroplasticity techniques. Okay, I can't teach that right now, but I study it all the time. But anyway, the techniques that they do, they're geared toward creating bravery. They're geared toward creating confidence. They're geared toward getting people ready for change. Same thing. If we take our spirituality as seriously as some people take science, I take both of them serious, because I love science and I use it to explore and understand what spiritual energy really, truly is, especially in my life. See, in other words, in order to be brave, and you have to be curious. And curiosity inspires us to step out of this old way and accept a new and powerful now. And I love it that when I listened to that song this week, because I said, you know what? The power of now is here to create magic on earth. All I gotta do is start working on my techniques or my spiritual practices, right? And these spiritual practices, like we know, and like you just saw, it helps me. It does create my bravery, because right now I saw that this thing works pretty well. So I'm brave enough to step. Or if I said, well, I had to speak my mind up because I didn't like what was going on here, but you know what? That bravery worked for me, because it showed me that, you know what, you got that to back down. You got that to leave you alone. And then I'm ready. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. You see, it's bravery. That's that last song. I'm ready for my change. You'll hear that in a minute. But you know what? It's really bravery, not meekness. I know we were taught that you got to be meek. You got to let everybody else tell you that you look nice. You can't tell yourself that. You got to let somebody else tell you that you're powerful. You can't say that. Well, it's bravery to step out on yourself and say how powerful you are, not meekness, because that's what gets me beyond my limits. What about you? Do you think it's time to get past to get past the old habits, whether they are good, they're bad, they're ugly? Do you look at them and then we can free ourselves? We get to free ourselves from it. That's especially if the past no longer serves us. So how can we possibly create new habits? Because we don't really know how, right? Oh, yes, we do. But some people resist, right? How do we create them? Well, in Groovy's reading I had a nice little section there, and it was talking about how we have a tendency to say, I've always. You've always, they've always, we've always. But the solution I didn't just have the thing looking at it, but the solution is replace the old script of I've always been, this is the way I am, or I can't change that because this is what, lies to yourself. Replace it with a new script. Right? And here's the other script. You heard her say, I love the way she read that, just so blah, blah, blah. Up until now, my experience has been fill in the blank. So let's say if I kept saying, oh, I know, this is me. My experience is, I used to respond to life, or to respond to things no matter how they felt, with knee-jerk reactions instead of going through spiritual practice. And now I choose to take right courses of actions because of the insights that come through me through spiritual practice, through mindfulness, and through all those wonderful things. So, to keep it simple, I just changed the old script. That's it. The Buddha teaches that attachment is, and whatever its counterpart is, attachment and resistance is the root of suffering, right? That's what the Buddha teaches, and it's right. But suffering doesn't mean like all the time. Some people do that, but it's pain. It's upsetness. It's sadness. It's discord. But here's the thing. What is said in other words, if you're holding on too tightly to people, to things, to ideas, to objects, it leads to suffering. So let go of the attachments and resistance, yeah. It's called resistance. Okay? And then you can figure out how to get out of that pain. Because before we do that, that's the way we're going to be releasing. Before we do that, that's the way we're going to be releasing. Because if we're not going to do it, we're going to hold on to that suffering, right? So we got to move beyond our limits. So with that being said, we also need a good forgiveness practice in order to create and release the old things so we can move beyond our limits. You see, what happens is when we get this forgiveness practice underway, we extend forgiveness where it's needed so we can go beyond the thoughts of how bad. So we have to say, well, I forgive that bad circumstance for the pain it caused. I also forgive the good because things were so short. The time with this good was such short times. And I forgive myself if I held any judgments. But that's got to be done over and over so you can really believe you forgive, right? Then we start moving beyond our limits. It's just that simple. So we can set an intention, just like you heard in the reading, to stop all that old autopilot stuff, autopilot thoughts, autopilot actions that we do, and take it and light it up and put in the conscious light, the light of consciousness. Now, it sounds like a cliche, but this is real. If you're really doing the practices, that stuff sounds like, yes, I will do that. I will shine the light on my bad habits or habits that I don't like. Because wouldn't it be amazing to wake up to potential and growth opportunities daily? Well, it might sound far-fetched, but I am living it right now. So it's time to bring up that brave you. It's time to step out of your comfort zone and to move beyond your limits. And we can do that with this next song. So when we're brave, we find opportunities for growth, opportunities for learning and expansion, and then we get to start moving on beyond our limits. So listen to this next song called Brave, and you will get started. See you, I just wanna see you, I just wanna see you, I wanna see you be brave. That's for everybody here. That's everybody. Get up there. What's bothering you? Who's in your consciousness that's bothering you? You heard her talk about get in that cage, come out of that cage. If you want to hear her say it again, get that song and listen to it. See, it's all about speaking up and being brave. You see that. Wow. I don't know, Timmy P. Every single week, everybody's got to hear what's going on. But today, between you and Reverend Catherine, if you didn't see that talk or hear that talk, they summed it up very well. So thank the both of you. Yes, that was fabulous. So right here, we talk about the two birthdays. I'm thinking about these two. They just did it. I'm just sitting here going, whoa, blown away by these two. So our birthday time, we like to celebrate them, and we really like to honor our own birthdays also as well. So the birthday is the day you came to be, and I'll say that again, I never will forget that. You came to be, so don't just go like, you know how people are so shy to tell people, well, it's my birthday. Oh, don't make a big fuss over me, because remember, you were taught to be meek instead of being brave. Thank you if they celebrate your birthday. It's not like, well, it's not a big deal. But anyway, we're not going anywhere. But if you got a birthday and you know it, because I don't, put your month and your year, not the year, your month and your day in chat, or you can also put it in YouTube comments right down there below this video. Okay, so just do it and everything will be just fantastic. We will still say it for you whether you're here or not. So big shout out and gratitude right now to our platform team. And thank you, Reverend Catherine, because you hit the nail on the head every time you're here. I love you and appreciate you. And thank you for that opening and closing prayer that you're about to do, Alan, because it did open up some channels of communication between me and Spirit too. So thank you, Groovy, for that reading that lit up my cells and caused everyone else to get the ripple effect. Yeah. She is our, I love to say this word, spiritual harmony steward behind the scenes, where we have quietness when we need it and things are going pretty good, and that's that. She catches it and she knows that we got to keep this to a minimum. So she's the cleanup woman, okay? That's all. No big deal. She's just cleaning things up for us. So with that also saying, Timmy P, thank you for the announcements and the music and bringing us to a safe landing as always. And at the same time, Melissa, thank you for your greeting, folks, getting people in, and also for the spotlighting. You do such a tremendous job as always with us. And thank you, Mo, for always being ready to get those emails out to those prayer requests that you get. And those people are so happy about them. So I'm grateful for that. So, did I do everybody? I sure did. So, before our last song, let's just take a moment to think about what we were talked about. Just two or three lines about that. Moving beyond our limits. Remember that during this week. 2 lines. Now, moving beyond our limits, really what it does is it aligns us with perfection every single time. So before we close out, there's something else you probably may want to do this week, and that is work on moving beyond your limits. So then you can begin to start acknowledging your self-awareness. And this is the deal. True self-awareness and self-actualization come from within. So this way you can start moving beyond your limits. So one of the biggest things are, before Alan plays us out, is this last song. You see, we need a good forgiveness practice in order for us to release the past and freely move on. So remember that song I told you that was going to be at the end. It's all about forgiveness. So this forgiveness practice, you got to forgive who? You first. And everybody else will come up. But you got to believe it's what you're forgiving. So let's get with that song, I Forgive Me. Wow, I'm ready for my change. Just let me just say, I forgive me. Because I want to say that out in the public, out to the spirit, out within my own heart, because I'm ready for my change. So Alan, on that note, please go ahead and pray us out.
Wow. So as we recognize that divine flame of passion that is within each and every one of us, that is spirit, infinite spirit that is all around us and lives in and through us and is in all of the circumstances, even some challenging circumstances. We forgive our past mistakes. We forgive the people that have bullied us in the past. We forgive the people that have hurt us in the past. And we transcend those experiences. We learn from those experiences. And we let go of the belief in that failure crap. Because fail just means first attempt in learning. So as we move beyond those limitations, we learn how to soar. We learn how to flap our wings. And sometimes we flutter around a little bit and might stumble a little bit as we're learning to flap our wings. But when we learn, we soar like eagles out into the sky. And we are inspire other people because we are infinite expressions of the infinite light. And as we learn to forgive ourselves, our burdens become our blessings and become a beacon of hope and inspiration out into a hurting world. And we teach other people how to empower themselves, to become leaders in their own lives. And I am so grateful to be a part of a community like this that teaches us how to forgive, how to excel, how to transcend our limiting beliefs and lack in limitation. And I release these treatments out into the creative mold, empowered into doing what we need to do and inspired to take the right action. And so it is. And now I'll pass the mic over to our fabulous, radiant Reverend Rosedale.
That was a powerful, powerful. I hope everybody takes that home. Thank you, Alan. Oh, wow. I had to take a deep breath on that. So, as we wrap up this time together, everybody, notice this week whether you're moving beyond your limits or not. Stop and check you. And then remember, you need a good forgiveness practice to start moving beyond those limits. Don't forget, I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let it go and I surrender. So remember, the universe is constantly supporting you on your journey. Until we meet again, everybody, wow, move beyond your limits.